Hi, Divine Souls. I'm truly grateful you're here with me in Oriah Divine Sanctuary, a space dedicated to healing, awareness, and spiritual alignment. If this video has appeared in your life today, trust that there may be a message here meant specifically for you. If the words shared here resonate with your spirit, I encourage you to like, share, comment, and subscribe so we can continue building a community centered around truth, healing, and higher consciousness. Earlier today during meditation, I allowed myself to slow down, to breathe, and to simply be present. And in that quiet space, I began to tune into the energetic frequency of the collective, sensing what many people may be navigating on their spiritual journeys right now. And from that awareness, this message emerged. When you outgrow the family system, it doesn't always feel like success at first. Sometimes it feels like loss, confusion, distance, even grief. Because you're not just changing your life, you're changing your role in a system you've been part of your entire existence. Family systems are built on patterns, unspoken rules, assigned roles, and emotional expectations that often repeat across generations. Maybe you were the strong one, the quiet one, the responsible one, the peacemaker, the caretaker, the one who held everything together so others didn't have to. And for a long time, that role gave you a sense of belonging, even if it cost you your peace. But then something begins to shift. You start healing, you start becoming aware, you start choosing yourself, and slowly you stop participating in the patterns that once defined your place in the family. You stop over explaining, you stop over giving, you stop shrinking to stay accepted, and that's when the system reacts. Not always with words, sometimes with silence, sometimes with distance, sometimes with misunderstanding, because when you change your behavior, it can disrupt the emotional balance of the entire system. Psychologically, this is because families often rely on roles to maintain stability, even if those roles are unhealthy. When you step out of your assigned role, others may feel confused, uncomfortable, or even resistant, not necessarily because you are doing something wrong, but because you are no longer playing the part that kept the system predictable. And that can feel threatening to people who are still operating within those dynamics. Spiritually, outgrowing the family system is often part of awakening. It's the moment where you begin to see patterns clearly instead of unconsciously participating in them. It is not about rejecting your family, it is about rejecting cycles that harm your well being. But here's the part many people don't talk about. Growth can feel like loneliness before it feels like freedom. Because when you change, you may no longer feel fully understood in the environment where your old self once belonged. And that can bring grief, not because you made the wrong choice, but because you are mourning the version of connection that required you to abandon yourself. The Word of God says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Romans 12:2. Transformation often means you no longer fit where you once belonged, but that does not mean you are lost. It means you are evolving. So, what actually happens when you outgrow the family system? You begin to see clearly. You begin to set boundaries without guilt. You begin to choose peace over approval. You begin to recognize patterns instead of repeating them. And you begin to understand something deeply important. You were never meant to stay stuck in cycles that limit your healing. You were meant to grow beyond them. Yes, it may feel uncomfortable at times. Yes, some relationships may shift. Yes, you may grieve what you thought family would feel like. But you also gain something powerful. You gain yourself, your clarity, your voice, your peace, your identity outside of survival roles. And eventually you realize you didn't lose your family by healing. You found yourself within the process of outgrowing what was never aligned with your wholeness. And that is not abandonment. That is becoming. Divine souls, thank you for stepping into Oriah Divine's sanctuary. This space exists to support your healing, elevate your awareness, and guide you through the sacred process of personal transformation. Here, you are safe to grow spiritually, emotionally, and authentically, and it is truly an honor to share this journey with you. Always remember, awareness begins the healing, but your transformation begins the moment you choose to honor your voice. Until we meet again, continue walking in truth, protecting your peace, and letting your divine light shine.